Hi, I'm Jordan with Caster Headquarters, and today we're going to talk about shopping cart wheels. More specifically, we're going to talk about the most well-known brand and the highest quality shopping cart wheel on the market. And this one's commonly seen throughout all of your major grocery and retail stores, including your Walmarts, your Kroger, Home Depot, Lowe's, HEB, and pretty much any grocery store, hardware store, any retail store that is in the United States. Now, when you're looking for shopping cart wheels, there is a large variety of options online that look very similar to this shopping cart wheel. But there's only one shopping cart wheel that has the highest quality, and that is specified in to all of these retail chains that should be used. The reason you experience a pretty bad ride, or maybe you grab a cart and the wheels don't roll as easily as they should, and there's hair and debris and one wheel is messed up and it's really hard to roll or control the cart, is because the companies or the people who repair the carts may not buy the OEM original brand shopping cart wheel. And that's going to cause issues when they install a cheaper quality or a lower quality shopping cart wheel on a grocery cart that is not meant to be installed on. So like I said, this brand right here is manufactured by a company called P&H Casters, and they are here where we are as well in North Texas, in Mansfield, Texas. So they're one of our neighbors. And this is the company that pretty much invented the shopping cart wheels from the beginning. And so they make a very high quality shopping cart wheel with the dual precision bearings in the raceway. So if I pull this dust cap off, like so, you can see a sealed precision bearing. There's actually 4 sets of these, or 2 sets of these. So there's 4 precision bearings, which no one else does. Now when I put this dust cap back on, what that's gonna do is gonna protect dust and debris from actually getting into the bearings, allowing you to extend the life of this wheel, because it's gonna prevent dust, debris, and hair from accumulating in this bearing. Then it's gonna slow that process down compared to some other brands that are out there. But not only that, this wheel rolls extremely easy and extremely quiet. You can barely hear this roll. Now the brand that I'm showing you, again, is one that's industry standard, and this is specified in all of these major retail chains on these carts when the carts are first manufactured. So this should be the wheel that these companies that own these grocery carts should be replacing the wheels with. It should be a P&H Caster. So get yourself a look at the logo. It'll say P&H Casters up here, and you're gonna see the logo right there as well. And we actually do stock. I think we are one of the largest stocking master dealers of these wheels, period. We bring in thousands and thousands of these casters and wheels, and we sell thousands of these a week. Now, Target has a specific wheel, and some other grocery stores do as well, that has a friction bearing. What that does, it allows you to roll the cart very smoothly, but if the cart is on a slight incline or a hill, the bearings are going to stop the wheels from rolling without the force of a human. So if it's sitting on its own, it's just going to lock and not going to roll away by itself. So it's a really good upgrade, and we do have those in the stock and sell those as well. And I will show that picture right here in the video, and I will also post a link to the friction version of the shopping cart wheels. Now, a lot of companies online are gonna say you should get at least 5 to 10 year lifespan out of these wheels. That is not true at all. If you look at the engineering of polyurethane, the actual material, the lifespan in optimal working conditions is 7 years before the polyurethane tread starts to become a little bit harder, more brittle, and it'll deteriorate, and it won't last as long. Now, when you're using this in a grocery store environment where you're rolling from indoor to outdoor environments, and it's sitting and it's exposed to different types of weather and those environments, whether it's rain and wash down, all the different obstacles obstacles and bumps that these have to experience, these get heavily abused on a daily basis. And so in reality, a lot of these companies need to be replacing these more frequently. I would recommend every quarter, they would go around, pull the carts that are bad, and replace the bad wheels. That's really going to make things a lot easier for the users and the customers that want to have a good experience while shopping. What's good about our wheels, so you know how old they are, is we are the only company that actually has time stamps and date stamps on these wheels. So if you look right there, it's kind of hard to see, but it's right there and there. Let me get closer. And that'll actually tell you the month and the date that these were made and manufactured. And so those are in the hub of every single wheel that we sell, so you know you're not getting a old wheel. And it also allows us to keep track of the batch and the stock of that specific wheel. So if there's ever any issues in the future, we can trace this back to a specific batch, and we can say, okay, maybe there was an issue here, which is very rare, but it allows us a lot better quality control than any other company on the market. Our capabilities to ship out shopping cart wheels and casters is pretty much unmatched. We can ship out any quantity to just about anywhere the same or next day. As I mentioned, we have crates and crates of these with thousands of these in stock at all times. So we are one of the largest dealer and master distributors for P&H brand shopping cart wheels. Now, P&H is not going to set up a lot of these grocery store chains or the small mom and pop stores or people who need to replace small quantities. You know, there's certain companies who are required to buy from them, such as the big Walmarts and some other companies as well. But generally, when the manager of these grocery stores is online and looking for shopping cart wheels, they're just going to go online and try to find the fastest delivery and the most affordable pricing. But what I want to stress is that you need to look for the P&H brand. I'm going to post the product link and the description. I'm going to post all the information so you can go directly to our website to look at this specific one, so you can see that we have the best prices, the actual original OEM manufactured brand, and we have inventory to deliver. So if you need a shopping cart wheel, then we are your supplier. So just reach out to us anytime. Now I'm going to dive into a few specifications of the wheel just to help you understand what you're looking for. So the P&H brand of shopping cart wheels are one of the most tested and highly engineered shopping cart wheels in the industry and on the market, which is why all of these really large retail chains and companies always have to specify this specific brand. The actual tread of the wheel is chemically and mechanically bonded to the core of the wheel, which means not only is there an industrial glue that holds this tread onto the core, there's also holes that are drilled into the hub of the wheel, and when the polyurethane is poured through, it actually seeps through the hub of the wheel, the outer hub, and it connects. So it actually has a permanent mechanical bond and a chemical bond. So this is going to allow a lot better quality, and it's going to hold up a lot more to wear and tear and to the abusive applications that these experience on an everyday basis. The diameter of these shopping cart wheels is a 5-inch diameter by 1.25 inch wide tread. That's industry standard. The difference is the bore size is actually a 5/16 inner diameter bore. When you have a lot of other casters that look similar, those are going to be a 3/8 inner diameter. But when you're replacing shopping cart wheels or casters, you have to make sure that the shopping cart wheel has a 5/16 inner diameter bore like the one we provide, which is industry standard. The color on this is considered a dark blue on tan color, and that is also industry standard. If you go to any grocery store and look at the wheels on those carts, you're going to see the same exact color scheme. The biggest benefits about using this version of the shopping cart wheel compared to a lot of the other knockoff versions that are out there or universal versions is because of our dual precision setup, you're going to have effortless mobility. you're gonna have an extremely smooth operation, and it's gonna be a very quiet ride. And so you're gonna be able to roll this a lot easier if you were compared to a standard poly on poly tread. The weight capacity per wheel is 250 pounds capacity. The hub length is 1 5/8, and the hub width is 1 9/16. Bearing type is a dual precision bearing, and the durometer is a Shore A 98. It's a little bit harder than a 95 Shore A, which is a common durometer for a lot of polyurethane wheels. This is a few points harder durometer because it's gonna be a little bit easier to roll indoors and outdoors. Especially indoors, it's gonna take a lot less effort to push this cart compared to a different version of a shopping cart wheel. Especially when you have a really heavy loaded grocery cart, this is going to help tremendously. The temperature range shouldn't be an issue in most applications, as this temperature range is -30 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Weight of this wheel weighs less than a pound. It's 0.7 pounds. And again, the axle size is a 5/16 axle. These do have the thread guards like we spoke about, and then these wheels do offer a 1-year warranty, but that doesn't include your standard wear and tear. So typically the warranty doesn't necessarily hold up because these experience a lot of abuse. And when I speak of abuse, you see all the time people sitting on the back of the grocery carts and they're running around like a skateboard and jumping on them. Or when they turn aisles, the rears have rigids and they're sliding them sideways, which kind of could damage the forks or the rigs or wear out the tread a little bit quicker on the wheel. Grocery carts aren't typically seen used properly or how they should be, where you just roll your cart and you turn normally. You see a lot of people skidding the rear of them and sliding them on the wheels sideways, which you're not supposed to do. People riding on the sides, the back, the front, like it's a toy. So in reality, these get a lot of abuse. And so again, I would really look at a program if you own a grocery store or you're a manager of a store, and I would look at every quarter at least on taking all your grocery carts, testing them out, setting the bad ones aside, and then deciding to change those casters out. So you always have a decent quantity, or so you always have easy rolling carts. And you'd be surprised when you look at the statistics, people prefer to shop at stores where they have an easier experience overall. And a smooth rolling grocery cart makes a pretty big impact, because for some people, it's pretty difficult to roll a cart when it has one bad wheel. I mean, especially when you're loading it up with dog food or a lot of groceries, it just gets really hard to maneuver and turn and push and pull, and not everybody has the strength to do that. And so if you keep up to date with the maintenance of your carts, and especially with the OEM manufactured wheel that they're meant to be rolled with, you're going to have a lot less problems. So we've touched base on the shopping cart wheels, and I'm going to post a few images probably on this side of the screen of the shopping cart casters, and we can briefly discuss the shopping cart casters next. The shopping cart casters are not replaced as commonly as the wheels itself, as usually the maintenance department or the person in charge of changing out the casters will look at the rigs that hold the wheel, the caster forks that hold the wheel, and they'll realize, you know what, the forks aren't really damaged, they're pretty strong steel, and so they'll generally just swap out the wheels only. But we do offer replacement casters, which would be the stem caster that goes in the front of the cart, and I will post some information on that as well. So there's a few different versions of shopping cart casters. There's the front swivels and there's the rear swivel, but there's also rear rigid casters. Now the rear rigid casters on shopping carts are typically welded on, and you rarely have issues of those being damaged. And so those are usually the ones where customers are just going to order replacement wheels only and maybe axles, and they're going to change the wheels out on the rear of the shopping cart. Now the front, which is the swivel casters with a threaded stem, those have a half 13 by 7/8 threaded stem. and those are more commonly replaced, but again, they're not as commonly replaced compared to just the wheel itself. But if you need to order the casters, I'm going to post links to the shopping cart casters, and I will specify the front swivel with a threaded stem and the rear, and also the wheels only. So you'll have all of the information you need. Now, when you click our product links, you're gonna have a full product description that goes into more depth on all the specs, details, and applications of each caster on our website. And then one last thing I want to talk about is when you replace your casters or your wheels, I would always recommend replacing them in pairs, because sometimes you may have one bad wheel, but if you look at your casters or your wheels, one might be more worn out than the other as far as the tread. So the tread thickness on one of them might be worn down a lot more, and then when you add a new one, it's going to raise the overall height, and then you're going to have a cart that's going to be a little bit wobbly. So whether it's the complete casters in the front or the back, or just all wheels only, I would look at replacing them in pairs, whether it's in pairs of 2 or replacing all 4 wheels at the same time. Well, I hope this video helped, and if it did, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, give the video a thumbs up if you can, and please comment below. I'd love to have a conversation. I'd love to hear your feedback about what you've experienced with your shopping cart wheels and casters, and I'm pretty good at responding to all your comments. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. And again, we also have escalator casters, which aren't as common, but we do stock those as well. So if you need to reach us, again, comment on the video, or you can email us at info@casterhq.com. Visit our website, which is casterhq.com, or give us a call Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Our phone number is 844-439-4335. which is also 844-HD-WILL. Thanks for watching.